Good morning, church. Luke chapter 12, verse 15. Very good verse to memorize if you're memorizing scriptures this month. Be aware and be on your guard, Jesus says these words. Be aware and be on your guard against every form of greed. For not even when one has an abundance does his life consist of his possessions. Every form of greed. There's lots of different forms of greed that he's warning us against. It's heartbreaking and painful sometimes to watch somebody ignore their children or family to build a career, to earn wealth. And we watch it as followers of Christ. We watch it. We see somebody doing great damage to their valuable relationships that they have right around them while seeking to gain a few more dollars in the bank. That's just never a good idea, and it's really sad to watch. It's heartbreaking for us, but I want you to think about this. God's perspective is the same from heaven as he looks down on us. It's heartbreaking for him to see us as men store up riches in all the wrong places, live toward worldly things. He goes on to tell this story, Luke 12:16, parable saying, the land of a rich man was very productive, and he began reasoning to himself, saying, what shall I do, since I have no place to store my crops? Then he said, this is what I will do. I'll tear down my barns and build larger ones, and then I'll store my grains and my goods. And then I'll say to my soul, soul, you have many goods laid up for many years to come. Take ease, eat, drink, and be merry. This is the key verse, verse 20. But God said to him, you fool, this very night your soul is required of you, and now who will own that which you prepared? So is the man who stores up treasures for himself. This is the phrase I want you to meditate on. And is not rich towards God. Is not rich towards God. So Jesus regularly warns his followers not to get caught up in worry, not to get caught up in the worry about your worldly possessions, your properties. Man's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. You're not defined in God's eyes about what you possess or how you possess, how many things you can possess, or how nice your car, your phone, your house, or any of that is. And he tells the story of this guy that had barns full of stuff, but he stored up treasures for himself. And here's what Jesus says, but he wasn't rich towards God. My Father, he wasn't rich towards God. What does it mean? Will you meditate on that this month? What does it mean to be rich towards God? Jesus tells us to lay up treasures in heaven where nothing can corrupt them. They won't rust or they won't fade. Ben preached last night on being a person who receives grace and the grace and mercy of God, but he wants us, God teaches us that we should manifest that grace. We should live it out. Live our lives out for others. That's where treasures, what treasures in heaven look like. Verse 34, where your treasure is, Luke 12:34, the end of this little section, where your treasure is, there your heart is also. So I wonder where your heart is today. Are you storing up treasures? Are you rich towards God? Is your heart so connected with heaven that that's the place you're the most interested in building wealth? I pray this will bless you today. I'd love for you to share it with some others so that we can all grow in our faith. And we'll see you guys back soon.